Jude and Mary had been married for 10 years, with a child to show for it. To outsiders, their marriage seemed perfect. But behind closed doors, Jude felt trapped. He had never truly loved Mary. She was a fleeting romance that resulted in pregnancy, and he felt obligated to marry her. Mary, on the other hand, poured her heart and soul into their relationship, hoping her love would be enough to sustain them. But as the years went by, she realized Jude's feelings for her hadn't changed. He was distant, detached, and their marriage felt more like a roommate situation than a partnership. One day, Mary approached Jude, who was engrossed in his phone. "Jude, I'm tired," she said, her voice barely above a whisper. "It's obvious this isn't working. Let's get a divorce." Jude looked up, a hint of a smile on his face. "Finally, it's about time," he said, his words cutting deep into Mary's heart. The little hope she had left began to wither away. Tears pricked at the corners of her eyes, but she held them back, determined to keep her composure. The divorce papers were drawn up, and Jude signed them without hesitation. Mary struggled to sign hers, her heart heavy with sorrow. They agreed on shared custody of their son, David. Jude left without looking back, leaving Mary to pick up the pieces of her shattered heart. As she watched him walk away, she couldn't help but wonder what she had done wrong, and what she could have done differently to make their marriage work. As Jude walked away, Mary's composure crumbled, and tears streamed down her face. She had loved him with every fiber of her being, sacrificing her identity in the process. The weight of her emotional investment crushed her. Staring at her reflection, Mary barely recognized the person looking back. The vibrant woman she once was had faded, replaced by a shadow of her former self. Weight gain and heartache had taken their toll, leaving her feeling unattractive and lost. But in that moment, something shifted. Mary made a vow to herself. She would redirect the love she had for Jude towards self-love. She would learn to embrace her new self, flaws and all, and find comfort in her own skin. As tears dried on her cheeks, a spark of determination ignited within her. A new Mary emerged, one who would face life's challenges head-on, no longer defined by her failed marriage. With a deep breath, she began her journey of self-discovery, ready to uncover the woman she was meant to be. Mary knew the journey to self-discovery wouldn't be easy, but she was determined. With her son in boarding school, she had ample time to focus on herself. She confided in her friend Rachel about the divorce, and Rachel's response was uplifting. "I'm so proud of you, Mary. It's time for you to regain yourself, and I'll be happy to be part of this success story." Rachel took Mary to her gym and got her registered, encouraging her to adopt a healthier lifestyle. Mary also decided to move to a new apartment, leaving behind the sad memories of her 10-year marriage. Rachel helped her get rid of unnecessary junk and stocked her new home with healthy food and fruits. As someone who had gained weight from working from home and lacking physical activity, Mary knew the gym would help her get fit. There were days when she craved junk food and felt like giving up, but she reminded herself of her goals and pushed forward. Rachel's frequent visits and encouragement kept her on track. With Rachel's support, Mary slowly began to transform, both physically and mentally. She was determined to rediscover herself and start anew, and with each passing day she grew more confident in her journey. Jude settled into his new life with Sandra, who was undeniably beautiful and captivating. However, he soon realized that their relationship was far from perfect. Sandra had no interest in domestic chores, leaving Jude to handle cooking, cleaning, and laundry after a long day at work. The house was often messy, and Jude felt stressed and overwhelmed. He tried to discuss his concerns with Sandra, but she dismissed him, saying, "If you can't do it, hire someone to. I won't ruin my nails." Her lack of empathy and responsibility frustrated Jude. One day Jude sat at home, surrounded by the chaos. Jude couldn't help but think of Mary. Despite his mistreatment, she had always taken care of the household chores without complaint. He wondered if he had made a mistake by leaving Mary, who may not have been the love of his life. but had been a reliable partner. Jude's thoughts were filled with regret and doubt. Had he traded a functional partnership for a superficial relationship? He pondered the decision, weighing the pros and cons of his new life with Sandra. Was physical attraction enough to sustain a relationship, or had he overlooked the value of a partner who cared for him and their home? As Jude pondered, Sandra walked in looking all beautiful, and he made a decision to stick with her rather than going back to Mary, whom he didn't love. Months went by, and Mary greatly improved, regaining her curvy shape and looking younger and more beautiful. She exuded happiness and peace. When her son David visited from boarding school, he couldn't help but compliment her. "Mom, you look so beautiful." Jude hadn't seen Mary since their divorce and was unaware of the changes in her. So, when David mentioned her improved appearance, Jude laughed, thinking it was impossible. Mary's beauty attracted plenty of attention, with men flocking around her, eager to start a relationship. However, she wasn't ready to rush into anything. Having learned her worth, Mary was determined not to make the same mistakes again, and was waiting for someone truly worthy of her love. Months later, Mary met Harry, a billionaire who had arrived in town for a conference. Their chance encounter occurred at a mall, where Mary's radiant smile and beauty captivated Harry's attention. He was struck by her calm demeanor and stunning looks, something he hadn't encountered before. After bumping into each other, Mary apologized with a warm smile and continued on her way, leaving Harry utterly drawn to her. He hastily exited the area, determined to find her again, but she had vanished into the crowd. Now, Harry was left wondering how he could possibly track her down and get to know her better. Harry couldn't shake off thoughts of Mary. Who was she? How could he find her? His preoccupation was interrupted by a call from his business partner, requesting a meeting at a restaurant. Upon arrival, he was surprised to see Mary laughing with her friend Rachel. Excusing himself from his partner, Harry rushed to Mary's table, determined not to let her slip away again. Mary recognized him from their mall encounter, and Harry introduced himself, asking for her number. Though hesitant at first, Mary's friend Rachel intervened, sharing her number with Harry. With a smile, he returned to his meeting, his mind racing with excitement. Later, Harry called Mary, requesting to meet up. Despite her initial refusal, he persisted, and eventually, Mary agreed. During their meeting, she shared her past and about her son, hoping to deter him. However, Harry's calm, kind, and genuine nature won her over. Mary confided in her friend Rachel, who was overjoyed for her. As Harry pampered and loved Mary, she found herself falling for him. Despite his wealth, he remained humble, and their connection only grew stronger. Even when he traveled, their communication remained consistent. Their first kiss sent shivers down Mary's spine, and she knew she was falling deeply in love. A year later, Harry proposed, and Mary's response was a resounding yes, sealed with kisses. June, Mary's ex-husband, was tired of his girlfriend Sandra's lifestyle. She wasn't ready to help with chores, wasted his money on parties, shopping, and she cheated on him. He ended the relationship, hoping to go back to Mary and just manage her. To him, Mary loved him too much, and she would accept him since there was no one else. But he got a shocker when his son David told him his mom was getting married. He didn't believe it, so he tried to call her, but her number wasn't connecting. He drove down to her apartment, the one they shared together when married, and he was told she moved out years ago. He felt so stupid for not making any efforts to check on her since the divorce. He reached out to Mary's friend Rachel, who always brings his son David to him, and pleaded for Mary's address. She reluctantly gave it to him after warning him not to cause any troubles. He arrived at Mary's apartment immediately and knocked. Mary opened up, shocked to see him, and he was lost. He couldn't believe the woman at the door was Mary. She was different, extremely beautiful, more confident, curvy, looked younger. He was so speechless. Mary had to bring him back from his daydream by asking what he wanted in her apartment, and he started apologizing. He begged for forgiveness, telling her how sorry he was and how desperate he wanted her in his life. He said he was ready to change, to treat her right, and to love her unconditionally. Mary smiled, and her response was, "I'm not angry at you. Our breakup only helped me rediscover myself. I have forgiven you, but I no longer have feelings for you. I'm engaged to the love of my life, and my wedding is next Saturday." Jude was shocked, but he wasn't ready to just give up. He pleaded further, "I can't survive without you, Mary." And her response was, "But you have been surviving without me for a couple of years now. What has changed, Jude?" Immediately, Harry drove in and Jude was shocked. He immediately recognized Harry as the multi-billionaire who had lots of businesses all over the world. He stammered, "Is this the man you are getting married to?" And Mary said yes while hugging Harry. It was then he realized he had lost Mary forever. He walked out in shame. The story highlights the importance of moving on from past relationships and embracing change. It shows that forgiveness is essential, but it doesn't always mean reconciliation. It also reminds us to appreciate people and relationships while they're present in our lives, as we never know what the future holds. Ultimately, it emphasizes the value of self-love, self-worth, and recognizing one's own value. The end. Like, comment, and subscribe for more stories.